Dear Mrs. Wilson, happy 100th birthday. We are pleased to add our congratulations to your celebration. You've led a remarkable life, and your experiences have contributed to the strength of our nation. We join your friends and family in wishing you all the best on your special day. Sincerely, President George W. Bush and First Lady Laura Bush.
I was born in Philadelphia on Stiles Street, and then my mother moved to Master Street and then to Girard Avenue, and then I went to school. We lived on Girard Avenue. I had wonderful parents and a wonderful childhood. Happy person I was. I guess in the second grade, we moved from Girard Avenue to Collingswood, and the day my mother arrived at her new house, or her house, they moved us in wagons, horse and wagons, and it had, a thunderstorm, and it was a muddy street, and one of the wagons got stuck in the mud, and they had to leave my mother's furniture in the wagon overnight, and that upset her because she didn't want her furniture out there all night. But anyway, the horses couldn't pull it out, so they said they'd have to wait till the morning to get a team of horses to pull the wagon out, So that was excitement, I guess you would say. But I remember the electric, the first light, the first electric bulb.
In your house or anywhere?
My mother's house. Mm-hmm. Again, she was the first one in our neighborhood there that had electricity. Wow. And I remember they put on the wall, it was a clumsy looking thing, and you click it, like this. And when I was in the room when the man called my mother and he said it was finished, he's going to put the light on, and I stood there with my mother and the man clicked the thing like that, and that bulb lit up in the room. Oh, what a big difference that it is for gas. I used to I had my own room, and I had a desk there, and I used to like to draw, cut paper dolls, and kind of just pass my time away, I guess. I was a person that didn't mind being alone. I was brought up like an only child.
So did you have a best friend as a child?
Yes. She was my maid of bridesmaid.
Ah.
Dorothy Cook. And yes, and I would have her there at the house. I would go to her house. And there were simple things we did, Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, we didn't talk about boyfriends or any lipstick or anything like that. That was out of the question. You didn't even know there were such things, I'll tell you the truth. Didn't know about makeup or anything. And when I was allowed to go to the movies, I was only allowed to go on Saturday afternoons, and they were they were pictures that were for children, you know. So I never saw any of this grown-up stuff.
So, who introduced you to your husband?
Oh, my mother's neighbor. And John at that time was working as a butcher in the store. And she came in and she liked him, you know, and she said, well, I have a daughter, she says, and I'm going to bring her around and introduce you to her. And so she did. She says, I have a nice young fella I want you to meet. So, and she took me there and introduced me to him, you know. Well, that was all. That was just an introduction. And then one night, I got a telephone call, or I guess Deary, we always called her Deary, this lady. And she said, Jack, he said his name was Jack. He didn't go by John, he liked Jack, that name. She says, well, Jack is going to come in tonight, and she said to see you. So I almost forgot what he looked like, because it was dark, you know, because they keep it dark in the theater. So I had I was taking some people, before he came in, I had taken some people down the aisle to seat them, you know. So when I was walking back, you know, I saw him when he was in the first seat there in the back, you know. He smiled, you know. So then after, you know, the show was over, why, he walked me home.
Well, what were your impressions of him?
Oh, I don't know. I was too flustered, you know, to think about that. I guess I must have liked him or liked his looks or whatever.
Did it take long did much time go by before you had your second date?
Oh, no, it didn't take long, although I was only allowed a date on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So, you know, I didn't see that. And then I have restricted, you know, I had to be in at a certain time. And believe me, if you stayed outside saying goodnight, she'd come to the door and she'd say, Loretta, come in. Loretta would come in.
How long did you date Grandpa before you got engaged?
Oh, 5 years. But it wasn't dating and not steady. I didn't go steady. I had gone with a couple other boyfriends in between. But no, we didn't go steady. But my mother was very, very strict with me. And you know, she used to scare the dickens out of me, you know. And of course, he'd want to get fresh, you know. No, what we would do, we would just take walks. And then we'd come back and sit in my mother's living room, and she used to say, I want to hear you talking. I'm coming in if you... I don't hear you talking. And I'd say, we got to talk about something, American. And she would. I was afraid of my mother. And then when she thought, you know, it was time for him to go, she had a big cuckoo clock, and she pulled the chain, pull the weights up. That meant she knew he better go.
You were telling us earlier about your wedding.
We just had a cooked meal with my mother and their maid. And we didn't have, not all my family came. But the ones that did come, you know, that was all served. You know, she had food for them too. She knew who was coming. And we left for our honeymoon, I guess, about 6 o'clock at night. And the bus was going to pick us up at Broadway, and just Broadway and Federal, I guess. And so John had called, and he thought he made reservations on the bus. When we got there, the bus had standing room. And my brother, you know, he had a few drinks, and he was throwing rice all around. And I couldn't make him stop, you know, and here he's going up to the following us into the bus, you know, and say, he just got married. And there wasn't a place for me to sit. We had 2 suitcases. here, sit on this suitcase. I guess I had sat on that suitcase till we made changes in the bus. They took us to the terminal, and they brought another bus out to take us to the shore.
So where did you go on your honeymoon?
And I went to Ocean City.
Ocean City.
Then when we go to Ocean City, well, the both of us were so happy we were on a vacation, because you're not used to going on vacations in your life. And we couldn't wait to get out and get on the boardwalk and get something to eat, because neither of us could eat on the dinner. So that's the first thing we did. Then we went to the movies, and then walking back, it was a beautiful moonlight night on the boardwalk, and I felt so strange going back with him, you know, and going to our room. So we got back to the room. Why, he said, well, you go into the bed, you go in and get changed, because I wanted to go into the bathroom. I didn't want to get undressed in front of him. And he says, you go in there and get you. So I got my white nightgown, pretty white nightgown, and a little coat to wear with it. And then I came back, and then it was his turn. He went in and got changed. And he had white pajamas. Came out with white pajamas. This is so help me God, this is the truth. And he, so I don't know what we did then, but anyway, when it was time to go to bed, you know, I got down to say my prayers. I knelt down to say my prayers, and I started to cry because I was so scared. The fact that I left my mother, she was so close, you know, with me. And I was scared. I cried. I was scared. I thought, oh, now I'm on my own, you know, and we're going to start our life together. And I don't know. I can't tell you any more than that. But we had a wonderful, wonderful time. I lived 1 year in Collingswood after I was married. And then I moved to Pennsauken. I moved on Browning Road. And Barbara was just 6 months old when I broke up my apartment and lived into the store. And then we left the store in 1955.
Is that when you moved back to Collingswood?
Yes. Then I lived there from 55 to 89. That's it. And then 90. Yeah, that was it. That's a good name. Never got very far, did I?
No.
I was going back and forth over the Cooper River.
Do you remember the first time you rode in a car?
Oh, the first time. Yes, I think I do remember. Yes. My mother had the first, she bought an automobile, and it was the first one that was in the neighborhood. She was the first one in the neighborhood to get an automobile. And that had the open, it was all open, you know. And yeah, it was great.
How about the first time you drove?
Oh, I was 40 years old. And this man came into our store, and he said, I'm here to take you out and teach you how to drive. I didn't want to drive. He said, teach you how to drive. So, of course, I had to go through with it, you know. But when I got my license, I came home, I was real proud. And John said, now you go out there, take the car, and ride around the neighborhood here. So, well, that's all I had to do. When I came home, I knew I wanted to drive.
Do you remember holding your first grandchild?
Oh, yes. Yes. Anthony. I remember you so well. I remember Anthony, he had trouble running, you know. Had trouble with his running. So I said, what did he do him? I said, now look, you watch Grandma, see how she runs? And I'm running, you know. And I said, you do it. But he's right back doing what he was doing before. And I could see him sitting on John's truck, you know. And this one day, he's sitting out there on the truck, and he's sitting on the running board, you know, of it. And he's going back and forth. You know, he might have thought he was driving the truck, you know. His little legs were going back and forth. Yeah, I remember that so well. I held every one of my great-grandchildren, too, if you remember.
And how many now? We are up to 15? Is it 15 or 13? 15. 15 great-grandchildren. Did you ever think that you would see that day?
No. No, I didn't. No. Not that many.
Not that many.
Now they're in college.
They're also great. I mean, I have wonderful great-grandchildren. Wonderful. Very happy with my family. See how time goes?
Yeah. Well, yeah. How fast does 100 years go?
Well, I had, you know, my life's been happy. Really has been happy. It came through. I've had my hard, you know, had hard times, but it came out well, very well. Got good children.
Yeah.
And grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
We all want to be you when we grow up.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope somebody makes it.
So now we can say happy birthday to great grandma. Or no, wait a minute. Grandma. Or mom. We got that right.
Oh, gosh.
100 years old.
I can't
Wow.
believe it.
Who was president back then?
Your General
I
Motors.
think, no, that was before Wilson. Who was that, McKinley? Okay, happy birthday, Graham.
We want to wish you a happy 100th birthday. You were always there when I needed you growing up.
Our grandchildren were lucky to have someone to go to breakfast with once a month to see what was going on and how you were making out.
Our family feels fortunate to have you with us. Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
Mothers are loving and caring, always.
David, they're sitting on your tooth.
That's it. Mothers are always loving and caring, always there for their children, always with a smile in the good times and the bad. Mom, we've had so much wonderful times together with lunches in the park and down at the shore and in Maryland. Many, many happy, fun times. What a wonderful time we have had together, and to my happiness, we are still having them. Happy birthday, Mom, and I love you with all my heart.
Very good. It's my
Okay.
turn.
Now I'm going to listen to you.
Okay, Mom. You know, we've tried to go through this without memorizing. And it didn't work out so well last time. I hope this one is going to be better. But because you know that you are a very special person in our lives, people that live to your age have to be special people. They have to have a special attitude, a special beauty, and you have all that, and you're one of the most important people in our lives. And just thank you for being you.
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hi, Grandma. I just wanted to wish you a happy 100th birthday. I can't wait to go to your party. We're really looking forward to it. Have a good time.
Hi. Happy birthday. Come on here, Steve and Susan. Come on. Don't be shy. Come on. Hi, Mama. Hi. Happy 100th birthday. Let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you. You're turning 100. Cool.
Happy birthday, happy 100th birthday, Grandma. Can't believe you're 100. But don't mean that because we have this party, you're not going out to your birthday breakfast. Looking forward to it. You know we love to talk. Okay, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, great grandma.
Hi, Grandma. I came out tonight to wish my grandmother 100th happy birthday. To a woman who I think and admire the most. To always think of wanting to be like you. The one that always people say, well, what do you think Grandma will think? Or you're a locked vault. You're always the one you can talk to, laugh with. You have a sense of humor. And you're 100 years old. I mean, that's our goal. That's all of our goal. You've given us hope. And, you know, I almost didn't get on this tape, and I just wanted to let you know how special of a woman I think you are, and how sane you make this family, and the rock of everybody. You are our rock. Happy birthday, great grandma. Well, grandma. Have a good one. And get out on that dance floor. Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Happy birthday, dear great grandma. Happy birthday to you. All
right, everybody back into place. This is for real now.
I gotta see that.
Hey, great grandma, happy birthday. I'm glad I can make it to your party.
Yeah, we're very happy to be here, Grandma. We wouldn't have missed it for the world. Pam's sorry she couldn't be here. She sends her best. She sends her love. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, to see everybody and see you and just share this whole day with everybody, and we're really happy to be here, and we wish you the very best.
Happy birthday, Grandma. It's an honor to share this day with you. We hope you're having a wonderful time tonight at your party.
And I hope so too. So happy birthday. Thank you very much for being there, always being there for us. I hope you're having a wonderful time. And if you're wondering where our daughters are, they wanted to do their own thing, so you'll be seeing that real soon. Happy birthday.
Now this is a story all about how my grandma turns 100. Holy cow, so let's take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you all about my grandma, cause I know you all care. In West Philadelphia, born and raised in the dollhouses where she spent most of her days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and all playing some Barbies outside of school. When she met some guy, he was totally cool. Was a butcher in our girl's neighborhood. They went on one little date, and it went from there. He said, let's get married and move out of here. They went to Pennsauken, and when it came near, the license plates in Jersey, there were kids everywhere. If anything, we could say this place is cool, but we thought in Africa, to home near the school. They pulled up to the house about 7 or 8, and they yelled to the neighbors, hello, how you doing? Pulled up to the house, she was finally there, and started a new life as Loretta Wilson. Happy birthday, Grandma!